All right, we're paddling into another amazing wave of interesting guests, and today we have Gary Henderson. Welcome to the show.
Thank you. Thank you. How are you?
Better now. That little rough start there. I am absolutely stoked to finally have you on the show. I've been watching you. When we first met, I saw you on Clubhouse when I was in Clubhouse like every day, as you know, and you were just this rising star. I remember when you had like, I remember when you said you had 10,000, and you're like had like a. I was like, oh wow, he's at 10,000. That's amazing. And anyway, so you just absolutely dominated Clubhouse, and it wasn't just by volume. I think I interacted with you when I was going to bring on Chip Wilson from Lululemon. I thought I'm going to track you down and see if you want to help me do a welcome party on Clubhouse. But more than that is you came into one of our rooms with me and Brian. I'm trying to think. We did a marketing room, and you came in and you were so generous with your time. And I listened into a couple of your rooms, and for someone who just went exploded on there, dominated, you've never left your sensibility of just being approachable and helping people and stuff. And I just want to acknowledge you for that because, to me, just seeing I want to talk about how you created that growth, all the things you're doing, your book, all this stuff. But I just want to first say, as an observer, and I've been around a lot of people who've done incredible things in different social channels. You have remained completely one of the people whose reputation across the board is such a open, honest guy in helping people. So I'm super stoked to have you here to talk about that.
Well, thank you so much. I think Clubhouse allows you to scale intimacy. So to me, I'm always just having a conversation, which is you and I. And sometimes it's just going to be you and I. And sometimes it's going to be 1,000 people listening to you and I. And if I just always treat it that way, I enter every conversation assuming that I'm there to learn something, that I'm there to listen, and I'm there to be a student. Now, sometimes I figure out that that's not necessarily the case, but I just enter every conversation like that. I don't say anything unless I have something to say. So I just sit there and listen. And when I have something to say, I have learned to say it quite quickly with maybe something that someone would be like, oh shit, that was an aha moment. And what that does is that in an audio environment, that creates those little sound bites that people remember. And then I have a pretty good memory. So I'll remember a moment with someone and create a relationship just like you did. Like you talked about a moment whenever I came into your room, you talked about a moment of memory with me. I'm pretty good at that too. So I'll do those things with certain people that I'm trying to build relationships. You and I are like that. And it just works. It just works at scale. It's just who do you build a relationship with and how do you keep grinding at it? I spent on Clubhouse, I was spending probably 10 to 12 hours a day grinding on the app, building those relationships. And some of them turned out okay. And some of them are like distant cousins now. They probably wouldn't even invite me to the family dinner, and that's okay. I found out that I was kind of better off to do my own little thing and play in my own lane and beat my own drum, and it was a better place for me.
I created more meaningful relationships in the 5 months that I was like in there than I did in any other time with anything else I've done. Yeah. And I tried to explain this to people. They're like, why you spend so much time there? And I'm like, there's something about the fact that Clubhouse, it's audio only. And like you said, you learn how to really craft your message, do deep listening, and learn a little bit of respectful listening in a group setting as well, which I thought was a lot of skills I didn't know that I need to learn better, like really understand how to listen, and I think if that's one thing I got outside of relationships was just better listening. It was, fascinating. So we're going to go back to Clubhouse, but I want to start up. So a lot of people may not know who you are. Let's take a little background. Give me a little history of what led up to the moment that you started in Clubhouse. And then let's talk about Clubhouse, NFTs, creator coins, creator economy. Let's talk about it all.
Yeah. So 2012, I didn't know Tony Robbins existed. I didn't know that. I wasn't a podcast listener. I'm honestly still not a big podcast listener. I was running a marketing agency and I was helping hotels and brick and mortars and chiropractors and all these different types of people do normie marketing, right? Just normal stuff. And I was deciding at this time, I don't know if you met on Clubhouse, Chris Winfield and Chin Gottlieb. They run Super Connector Media.
I think Chris Winfield, I reckon, is the name.
Yep. So Chris used to run an agency called Blue Glass. And Blue Glass ran 2 conferences that I went to and attended. I applied to speak at both of those conferences, and I was declined as a speaker. And I bought my ticket and I attended. So I decided to say, fuck it, and run my own conference. And during that time, Blue Glass kind of collapsed. And I ran what's known as one of the coolest conferences in the industry. And I figured out at that moment, I've got an opportunity to do something different, but I didn't see the full picture yet.
What was the conference called?
ID 2013.
Right.
So Rand Fishkin came in and spoke. Peter Shankman came in and spoke. Michael King came in and spoke. It was in South Beach. We had a yacht. I mean, I had my logo on the side of the Clevelander in South Beach. Epic event. And then I made a mistake. We tried to play. I have my own vibe and my own energy. The people that I had coming to speak, they weren't my people. They were agency workers. So I didn't vibe with them all. I didn't know that yet. But I tried to be the marketer that I am. So we did a shit that marketers say. And we clipped up all the audio and we had a parody reel. And some people got really pissed. You know, like when you're like watching like the sports broadcasters on ESPN and they talk and they're like, oh, he's coming up from the rear. And then they make fun of that on like Saturday Night Live.
Yeah. Have a little lightness.
Well, my full-time employee that I hired to be my producer, she worked for our local version of Saturday Night Live. It was called Not the News in Myrtle Beach, South Carolina. And she was the producer of Not the News. So that was our style of humor. I still think that's funny. The employees that worked at, you know, this company or that company, they didn't think it looked great on their resume. I didn't give 2 shits about somebody's resume.
You know, I think that it says something about somebody that's willing to make fun of themselves a little bit.
Yeah.
You know, can I just interject a little story?
Yeah, go for it. Yeah, we're just having a conversation here.
Yeah, this is I had my company's strategic marketing group for 10 years. I sold it, and it was all direct response, digital. That's actually when I don't know if I think you were around then because I recognized your name when I was looking at your digitalmarketing.org. Anyways, one of the things that we did was we actually had our clients do testimonials, but we called it the anti-testimonial. And one of them was we had Dawn from Hudson's Bay Company, one of Canada's oldest retailers. She headed up gift cards, and it starts with her talking about us going, STMG is great. They're great guys. And this camera's slowly panning away. And you see that we had her tied to the chair. And she's like, can you untie me now? And we actually, and we did a bunch of these gags with our clients. Like one of them was like STMG, oh, they're amazing. And at the time our branding was all laundry. It's like, they do great job cleaning my, laundry and all this stuff. And they're like, no, the agency. And she's like, oh, off camera, and so we had all these little spiff things. And we thought, if we could get our clients to make fun of us, what level of relationship would they have with us?
Yep.
To me, humor is like that's really, quite honestly, I think that's a sign of like confidence.
It is to me too. I thought it was great.
That's smart.
But not everyone else did. So during this moment, I had been approached by someone. Her name was Suzanne Evans. And I didn't know Suzanne. And I had kind of a big ego at the moment. I was like, oh, I know everybody. I was on the board of my young professionals group. I was like, if she was any business in this town, I would know her. And I didn't. So I was on a flight one night and I Googled her. And I had a very humbling moment because she was Inc. 500, 5,000, and she was running a big business. And I was like, whoa, that's somebody I should meet. So I went and met Suzanne. She invited me to speak at her event. So I just ran my own successful event. I went in and spoke at her event. It was the biggest event I'd ever spoke at in my life. There was 1,000 people. It was massive. She had a DJ. Like, I thought my event was cool. She had a DJ in the back of the room and a dance floor, and everybody danced. Like, I didn't have people dancing. Like, we rolled cigars and we had happy hour. Like, we had my kind of vibe, but this was different energy. And I remember texting her, and she was busy running the event. There was 1,000 people. Like the guy from Life is Good, the clothing, like he spoke on stage with me. Like it was wild. It was the biggest, coolest stage at the moment that I'd ever been on. And I said, I don't know what you do, but it seems like I should probably hire you because you're doing some stuff that I've never seen before. And she and I had partnered together on some business dealings. And she and I hired her and I joined her mastermind. And I went on for the next, so from 2014 or really late 2013 until 2019, I went on to work with clients like Gabby Bernstein and Dr. Axe and Jeff Walker and Lewis Howes and Michael Hyatt. I did a program one time. I thought it was the best digital course in the world. I only sold one, and I sold it to Ryan Dice. He was my audience. Like, that was the person that I spoke to. You know, Jeff Walker, his first funnel was written by our team. You know, I still make right now, I don't know, almost $2,000 a month off of Michael Hyatt, and I haven't talked to their team in almost 3 years.
Oh, wow.
Because we set them up with HubSpot, and I make 20% for life. So we touched a lot. I did about $250 million in revenue in the digital marketing space for info products. Lewis Howes was one of my biggest clients. We did a huge run with Lewis, helped him grow his inner circle, helped him do all this. 2019, I asked Lewis, he was trying to grow the business and trying to grow the brand and really leaning into maybe having a media company and starting like the School of Greatness or some kind of greatness media company. And I said, I want to host the podcast. And I said, I want to host a business podcast under your brand, but I want to be the host. See, I was running his inner circle. I was running this whole division of the company. It's making a lot of money. And he said, no. And I said, and I want to be a guest on your podcast. And he told me to go do something great first. So I didn't renew my agreement with him. That was it. And when I didn't do that, I helped a couple clients in the interim as I was figuring it out. I knew what I needed to do. I knew I needed to hit scale. I knew I needed to hit a quantity of people. I didn't know how to do it. I didn't understand how to do it. I knew I needed to do it. I knew I needed to have a quantity of people pushing energy. And I found Clubhouse and I started to move some energy, create some capital. I signed a book deal with Hay House. That was really cool. That happened in like 13 days of being on the app. So that was a relationship that I built from Jeff Walker's mastermind. I got to work figuring out what I was going to write in the book. And then I launched a creator coin and dropped an NFT project. And now I make 99.5% of my income off the blockchain. It's been a wild year.
Crazy. Now, the Lewis Howes experience, was that a gift?
Big time gift. I didn't realize it. I didn't realize it was a gift until honestly, Clubhouse. So I wrote my bio on Clubhouse and I'm proud of the work I did with Lewis. Like really proud of what we did. And wrote my bio and I got messages from the team that said, we don't feel comfortable with you sharing how much money you've made for clients and having our name in that list of clients. And I said, well, I'm sorry, but you were my client and I made a lot of money for you. No, I didn't quote anyone's money. What I said is I've made over $250 million, $250 million, working with clients like Lewis Howes and Dr. Axe and yada, 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 yada. It was a fair statement. I didn't quote any specific numbers or anything like that. Mm-hmm. And they said, remove it. And I said, no. I said, that's my work. That was I have proof I did that. It was very public. I didn't sign an NDA. Like it was very public. I was speaking on your stage at your event. I was your most popular breakout. I've got pictures on my Instagram of you in my hot tub. Like we got a relationship together. But what it was is limiting mindsets. And I used to think that my clients were my friends. And I realized they weren't. They were just my clients. And I had it all wrong because it was like, well, if Lewis is my friend, then he would want me to win. Like we're friends. Like I would want you to win. You would want me to win. Like we just want our friends to win. Well, we weren't friends. I was a vendor. He didn't care if I won. So me putting him in my bio did him no good. As I was growing my brand and telling the story of Lewis, that didn't help him. It just helped me. So he didn't have a benefit anymore. I was just a vendor. We weren't friends. So I started to realize where my place was in the world real fast. And I realized I had to grow my own support system and everything around it. So it was a huge blessing to me because if not, I would have leaned in, right? I would have leaned in and I would have known whenever my book came out, like this thing here, like when this came out, I would have known, like I would have been like, oh, Lewis is going to send emails for me or this person's going to send emails for me. But instead I said, no, I got to go build my own audience. I got to go move my own energy. I got to go drive my own place.
What a gift of self-sufficiency and sovereignty.
Yeah. It taught me to fish.
Yeah. It's funny how sometimes rejections, people view it as they allow to absorb that energy instead of going finding what's the gift in this. And that can quickly guide you. And that's something I've learned through Tony Robbins and my training with him. And, hearing that story, what's really powerful about that is it sounds to me like you have really tapped into understanding expansive thinking about helping others and realizing it's like an abundance mindset of like acceleration, not, climbing over each other or competition, which there's an infinite amount of abundance. The more we're open, the bigger it can be. And the more we help others, it just expands. It's like you're tapping into something that's a deeper conversation I didn't know we were going to have. I'd love to hear more about what you really think about this abundant mindset and really what you're up to, because there's more under the blanket now. This isn't just you doing Creator Coins. It's not you just doing Clubhouse. You're doing something more. What is it?
Well, there needed to be a different way. There's not really a path for creators to do and be self-sufficient monetizing. It's go sell courses or go run big events or go do this or go do that. But I never found a path. Dr. Axe had a hell of a path. Don't get me wrong. I mean, he did $100 million funding round. That's a cool path. Jeff Walker kind of has a cool enough path. He sells a lot of courses, but he's a slave to his affiliates. Like, you've got to mail for each other, and he wants to, and I'm not saying that's bad. It's just what it is. But there wasn't a path to decentralize. So I didn't know any of this in January or February. And then I started to see what was going on in the blockchain. And I started to learn of what I could do with a creator coin. Now, I didn't know everything about it, but I knew enough that I should get a creator coin. But none of this clarity hit me until July. So I was writing, I finished my book. I wrote a book we started writing the first words of the book in March. The manuscript was due at the end of May. Final manuscript in June. I read the book.
How did you do that? Because I'm in 2.5 years and I'm still almost done my book.
Yeah. And I mean, that's what happened in July for me is I got done with my book in June. We were done with a manuscript. It was all done. It was finalized because I was going to the studios to read it in August. It had to get to the printers. I mean, it's in my hands. You can go to Barnes & Noble and buy it right now. Like, this is like distributed all over the US. I was just busy writing a book, and I had to write a book that everyone could do. Not everyone, my publisher, we don't talk about Gary Coin in my book. We don't talk about the blockchain because it doesn't appeal. It's not what the book was about. So I had to stay out of that mindset. I had to get the coin, tuck it away, but stay out of that mindset until July. So July comes and I have space to start thinking about where I want to go, how I want to spend energy, what I'm going to do with my time. Like, my book's done. Now what's next? Where am I going? And that's when I leaned into my coin. I leaned into building a creator economy and learned what that was like. I've 130 ETH on OpenSea over 3 months, all confirmed on the blockchain. That was at the time about $500,000 that I spent. Now I didn't buy any ETH. I generated ETH out of my Gary coin. So I learned how to get people to buy my coin and hold it. And then I learned how to make a profit on that. And then I learned how to turn that profit into exponential growth by buying other NFT projects or other things like that. I needed to buy projects because I needed to see what it felt like, because I'd never launched a project. I know how to market. Like, I know my audience size. I know all these things. I have really crystal clear expectations, but I never bought. I remember I sold my first NFT, and the very first one sold in a minute, and it sold for more money than I'd ever paid for something before. An NFT anyway. It sold for what at the time was about $12,000. My very first ever one. So I had to go buy another one that was more than that because I didn't feel an integrity. I sold something that I'd never paid for myself. I'd never valued an NFT at that much money. So how could I sell? I did, and it worked, but I went and bought it real damn quick because I wanted to move that energy.
Right.
But I just needed to feel it. So that's what happened in July is I had space in my head to figure out where I was going to go next.
So you keep talking about you wanted to move that energy and inner integrity. Tell a little bit more about the philosophy of that. Where did you experience it, learn it, or can you describe it a bit so that somebody gets a little more feel for that?
I don't know, in all honesty.
It's something you just feel like you go look.
Yeah, I mean, I have such an abundance mindset that I know there's so many people in the world. And I know that there's like, I don't take, let's use Clubhouse for an example. If you come into my Clubhouse room and you're in my audience and you're hanging out and you leave, I don't know why you left. It's not my fault you left. You just left. So why did you leave? Well, maybe your wife needed you. Maybe the kids are home. Maybe the dogs are barking. Maybe you had a stroke. Maybe your phone died. I don't know why you left, but we assume my content sucked. It's the speaker I just brought up. Man, my guest is horrible. No, it's just you didn't have attention at that moment. So I learned that relatively quickly as I was building my brand. I had tried to figure it out, but it didn't land right when I was working with clients because I'd never done it for myself. I'd done it for clients, but I was doing it for like Lewis Howes or Susan Evans or Gabby Bernstein or Dr. Axe. I was doing it for like the best clients in the world. I mean, it wasn't like not trying to take anything away from what we did, but our job wasn't that hard because we had the best clients. People were going to buy their courses and stuff anyway. But when I was trying to do it for me, I learned I need a lot of people to move energy. And I'm always going to have people that are going to cancel, always going to have people that are going to move on, always going to have this. So how do I keep my eyes forward and just keep new people, new people, new people, new people, new people, new people, new people? And then how do I realize that if some people stick, like some will? And I guess like one of the lessons that sticks in my head really big is Grant Cardone told me there's quality in the quantity. I had always just went and found the quality. I'd went to the mastermind. I'd sat in the room. And that's what I thought is I got to go find quality just like you. But what I learned is there's quality in the quantity. So I go find the quantity of people and then the quality just bubbles up to the top.
Interesting.
Yeah. And that's just, it was a conversation on Clubhouse, Grant Cardone, and we were just talking about people. And that's what I took away from that.
He was no surprising person. Actually, I had an opinion of him before Clubhouse, and I heard him in Clubhouse, and I was like, oh my God, the guy's the nicest guy. Super approachable. And I was on stage with him, and he's like, no, that's Scott. Like I was just like, oh, you're Grant Cardone. I was like, I don't want to step away, but he was like, really like, no, go ahead, finish. So I really have a lot of bandwidth for him now, more than I maybe did before. Going back to what you said you identified something in blockchain. What about blockchain perked your interest that was so interesting that started this path? Because some people don't know what blockchain. They have they think blockchain. It's like this. What is it?
So it's you have this desire to decentralize, and you have this desire to not decentralize. So they're kind of two things. And if we think about this, let's think of Facebook and the U.S. government and all these things as centralized bodies. Facebook is a centralized social network. The U.S. government is a centralized government. Where something that's decentralized exists all over the world and it's not controlled by any one entity. So the blockchain is this kind of goal to be decentralized. So as creators lean into the blockchain, creators, me, you, we have to figure out, well, how do we make money? Well, we could get sponsors. We could get on-platform money. Like this could get a ton of views on YouTube and you could make 12 cents. Like we could do that. Or we could start to make our own money, which, we figured out. I'd figured that out for years with clients. But I'd never figured it out on the blockchain. Well, what I started to figure out is the blockchain is a place where we can make money together in a community together, and we can have a common goal and a common bond together. So it's no longer Gary makes money. It's we make money together. Well, that's a win for everybody. Everybody bonds together through that. So what I do is I solve a really, really big problem. You have decentralization, you have centralization, you have cryptocurrencies, and you have fiat currencies. I bridge the gap in the middle. I sit in Web 2.5. So we centralize decentralized assets. I help people on board to decentralized assets. I sell people decentralized assets. And then I offer them a very centralized experience as long as they retain ownership of their decentralized assets. For example, you may, or most people may think, if I wanted to get access to Gary, then I would expect to maybe pay some money every month and get access to a group program to ask questions and stuff. That's normal. Well, I don't do that anymore. So if you want access to me, you hold 250 Gary coin in your wallet. You never, ever, ever have to pay me. And twice a week, you get to show up and ask me any question you want. I help you with your business. 250 Gary coin right now would cost you, I don't know, maybe $4,000. Not too much money. So you do that.
I think I have 250 Gary coin.
You might.
I bought it way early. I bought it when you first launched. I actually went and got in early on it. I got to go take a look at how many I hold, but I'm actually hold you, Jay Bear, and Brian. I have the most coins with. Yeah.
That's really cool. And if you have 250, you get into Discord and you get access to me every single week for free.
Yeah,
never, ever have to pay a dime. Yeah, you'll authenticate with our server and our concierge. They'll help you. You'll get all your access automatically. You never pay me. But what happens is the next person that comes in, they buy coins for a little bit more. The next person buys coins for a little bit more. Before you know it, my coins that I'm holding are worth $100 or $200 or $300 a piece. So that's what I figured out. I just figured out how to do business a little different. I just don't charge people.
That you realize a lot of people are losing their minds right now. So
this is so foreign to a lot of people. It's like, how can you make money and not charge anyone money? Like I was just in a call with my clients a moment ago, those that have 250 Gary coin. And I was telling them, I said, when people go to OpenSea and they buy a giraffe right now, out of that like $60, I make $3 of that. And if there's like yesterday, there was like 40 of them bought. So I made $3 times 40 and I didn't do anything. People just bought giraffe. Literally, they were just buying giraffe and that's it.
Okay. So I just checked while you were chatting. I was listening and I have 51 Gary coins. So I'm not as far along as I thought.
So let me tell you what you get at 51 Gary coin. You get access to a monthly mastermind. So Rachel Miller was our guest this month. She founded Moolah Marketing. I don't know if you've heard of Rachel. She's amazing.
Mm-hmm. Oh, yeah.
So you would have gotten access to a mastermind with her. So we wrote I built a SaaS company that when you come into Clubhouse and you raise your hand, if you've got 50 Gary coin in your wallet and you've authenticated with our system, you get an automatic invitation to come right up to stage. Now, if you would have came and gone to that mastermind, you would have got a free NFT to memorialize your experience at POAP for being there. You will get access to a new Build Your Own Creator Economy course I'm launching in the next 2 months. You get that for free. You get access to over 100 hours of my recorded rooms from Clubhouse for free. All the recordings are yours for free. You get access to a private chat with my biggest supporters, and all you have to do is just hold your coin. And that's it.
Beautiful.
And you get all that for free.
So you realize you probably ran through a bunch of stuff, and most people that the audience knows you say Creator Coin, you're throwing it there, and they're like, what? So Creator Coin, can you just let's break down a couple of these pieces here so they can kind of understand that. And on the Creator Coin, I got some follow-up questions, which is, this is great, but you are luckily got a Creator Coin. I've applied 4 times, and I haven't got a Creator Coin, and I got a pretty good following. So, it's like, so this is a little bit of, you have to help a little bit with, like, this sounds like someone's going, well, I'm going to jump on this. There's a few hoops to go through with this. So maybe kind of help, diagram this a little bit so we can break it down. Because I think this is really interesting. This is what's going on. What's next? And when Joe, from the Tilt.
Joe Paluzzi, Content Marketing
Thank you, Paluzzi. Yeah. I'm dropping his episode. Yeah. When he's sending me notes going, this is something that's real, I'm like, oh, I'm paying more attention. So I want everyone to hear what Gary's about to say, because it sounds like when you say NFTs, the feeling I originally had was, what the F is with these cartoons? How is this even important or real? So maybe just kind of like break it down a little bit. Not just NFTs, but the Creator Coin too. Yeah.
It's going to sound funny and weird and odd. And it's going to sound wild, but I'll hopefully make it all make sense for you. So I run a metaversal experience, a place on the internet called Gary Club. It's a community. And inside of my community, we transact in Gary Coin. So it's like my Monopoly money or my in-game tokens. It's if you go to the casino, it's my poker chips. If you go to the arcade, it's my tokens to play the video games. What you do is you take your US dollars or your crypto, your Bitcoin or your Ethereum, and you trade it in exchange for Gary coin, just the same as you would at a casino. But Gary coin is a true crypto, so it can go up or down. It's volatile. It's a fungible token, so it's interchangeable. One is just the same as any other one, but it can go up or down just like your Bitcoin can, or your Ethereum can, your crypto can. So sometimes that price goes up, sometimes it goes down. But it's always, if you have 51 Gary coin, you will always have 51 Gary coin. They just might be worth more, just the same as 1 ETH is always 1 ETH. It just might be worth more one day. So I have my own cryptocurrency branded after me, and we transact in that in our business. Now, the way you grow a cryptocurrency, like when I got this, it was virtually, I mean, you got in real early. You probably, to get your 50 coin, I'd imagine you probably spent $20.
Yeah, it was like so low. I just bought it right away when you did. I'm like, and you put it, you asked, go, hey, can you support me and buy corn? I'm like,
Yep.
Sure, I'll do it, man. I like following you. So I just did it. Yeah.
Yep. So now
Good
over
move,
time,
by the way.
yeah, not a bad move at all. Over
Them way
time,
up.
people hold that coin. And the way Rally works, which is where the Gary coin sets, is every next coin is more expensive than the last. So the next coin will cost more. But if you decided to sell your coin, then you would just sell them and they would burn or go away. So it's a pretty simple economy. The more coins in circulation, the more valuable the coin is. So now I know that. So I say, well, how do I get more people to hold more Gary coin? It's a pretty simple equation, right?
Mm-hmm.
If I need to get coins in circulation and I go put my money in there, then I'm inflating my own asset that I already own. And if I go to sell my coin, then I deflate my own asset. But if I can get you or someone else to go buy $100 worth of Gary coin, well, I could sell my Gary coin, $100 worth of my Gary coin, and the price would stay the same. Or I could let you buy $100 worth of Gary coin and the price would go up. And the price would keep going up and up and up. So I figured that out. It was relatively simple. I just didn't get it at first. So now I have this strategy around my economy, right? A cryptocurrency, a creator coin that says, how do I encourage people to buy the coin? How do I encourage people to hold the coin? And how do I give people something to spend their coin on? Because if you have a coin, you want to spend it. If you go to the casino, you don't want to walk around and be like, look at my chips. I got a big stack today, guys. You want to walk up to the table and you want to spend it. So that's all I did. I found 3 ways. Get them to buy the coin, get them to hold the coin, and then get them to spend their coin. Know that they can get their coin, they can sell it anytime they want, and then do as much as I can. Get as many people to own as one coin as possible. Like you right now, you've got 51 coin. I'll tell you, like, is it easy at Rally? Yes and no. It's easy when you know someone. It's easy when there's a backdoor. It's easy when you get the right application put together. So what I do is for my clients that have 250 Gary coin, I'll walk them in the back door. I can't guarantee they get approved, but I can guarantee they get a personal introduction from me because I review their application with them.
I'll be buying the remaining 200 when we're done.
Right.
It's that important to me. It's like, that's how I feel about this.
Now, with that said, I'll give you full disclosure. I had someone that did that. They bought for just that purpose, right? Transactional. They got approved for their coin and they were in the underwriting process and they got declined. I don't know why. Rally goes through underwriting. I don't know what happened. Just for some reason, they didn't pass underwriting. And that person, they were a client for about 3 months, right? They held those Gary coin for about 3 months. They sold all their Gary coin, every single one of them. They didn't have to. They could have stayed in. I work on a lot of things. Like we grow audience, we do a lot. They decided to sell it and made more money. They actually bought, applied, approved, declined, had help for 3 months and sold and left with more money than they walked in with. That's a win.
It's a win all around.
Yeah. And when that happened, I get to go tell the story. They don't leave. Like normally what would have happened if I would have sold a client a $10,000 package And they would have bought it. People buy for their own reasons. They would have bought it knowing I want to apply for a creator coin. I'm going to get approved. Gary told me he would help me. And then if they got declined, I would have gotten chargebacks. I would have gotten cancellations. I would have gotten refund requests. But instead, they just sold their coin. I don't really care.
Right. See, when I bought
it's just
the
a
coins,
different mindset.
I just was I just looked at it as supporting. I was like, you know what? Like, I don't know what you guys are up to. And so across the board, all my creator friends, including Joe and Brian Fanzo and yourself and Jay, all have been on my podcast. You were the only one that hadn't been. I didn't even mention it to you. I just thought of that right now. And I just do it out of support. I feel like all of us that are trying to make a difference and raise the quality and help people really succeed online. I'm like, I just view, we're not competitors. We just help each other. Right. So that's all I did. I thought it was like buying, in my mind when I first bought it, was sort of like, I feel like I'm buying stock for you on your brand. Is kind of the way I rationalized the investment. I'm going, you're a good bet, because I listened to you and I was like, this guy's great. I'm going to place the bet that, something's going to come of this. I have no idea what it was, blindly.
And it kind of is.
You did a good job explaining this.
Yeah, it kind of is that. And then NFTs are the same. They're just in a smaller microeconomy. So
why do people buy these drafts? So kind of explain.
Yeah.
I still can't get over it. I'm like, couldn't somebody do an NFT to something like that from a business standpoint? Like, oh, I get it. Like, but to me, I'm just like, oh, these cartoon things. Like, what up?
So you connect with your giraffe first. So I picked a giraffe because we wanted to own a category. And when you look at NFTs and you look at the animals or the characters or the representations, no one owns giraffe. So I was like, well, I can own giraffe. And I went and did the research on like the spirit animal of a giraffe and like all the backgrounds of giraffe. And they're really cool animals, like really cool animals. So I was like, well, we could do this. So we started to ideate on what the design looked like and all this. And I didn't realize a lot of things. I've learned a lot of things. So I learned having unique art for each of the 10,000. People relate to the art. They like a certain trait. They want a headset. They want a baseball cap. They want one that has a hoodie. They want one that has a certain fur or a certain background. They relate to it. So if I would have done 10,000 things that all look the same, then there's no reason to relate to that. It's just like, all right, I got 5 poker chips. They all look the same to me. So now that happens, right? They relate to that. Well, it's really nothing more than a membership to a community. You buy a giraffe, you get a visual representation that's graphic, but then you get the coolest community you've ever been in your life. Like our community was at the Von 3 Summit. Like Chris Brogan was speaking, like lots of big speakers, $400 VIP tickets. And if you own a giraffe, you got a ticket for free. Nobody had to pay. Our giraffe went to the Suzanne Evans, Larry Winget event for free. They went to the Female Disruptor Summit for free. They went to the blockchain conference in Amsterdam for free. So the Giraffe Tower gives you access to the community, gives you access to learn about NFTs. I'm building a brand new NFT project called the Normies, kind of people like you and I, normal people in the world that are entering this crypto space, trying to figure it all out. I'm going to build that project publicly inside the Giraffe Tower for the Giraffe Tower to learn how to build a consumer-based NFT project. A brand new community. I'm going to give them behind the scenes, behind the curtains experience.
Beautiful.
So normally, right, I would go out and I would say, do you want to buy it? It'll be a $2,000 course or a $5,000 mastermind or something like that. But I'm not. I'm selling giraffe. And if you want to buy your ticket to the community, you can. It's about $150, $200, right? You go grab 0.05 ETH and you pay your gas fees and you've got a giraffe. Well, now you might want to have 2 or 3 or 4 or 5 because you might want one that looks different. And once 10,000 of them are gone, there's no more that will ever exist. So now people have to start buying them from each other. So there's only 10,000. This is like, right, you bet on me early. So when you bet on me early, somebody can still go buy a Gary coin right now. Like you could go buy 200 more. They're for sale. They just cost more. Well, when you buy an NFT, one of these 10,000 giraffe, that's all that will ever exist. So when they're all gone, like I have 148-ish thousand Gary coin in circulation. Whenever all 10,000 of these giraffe are gone, the only way they can buy one is if they buy one of yours or mine or someone else's, because there's no more. So you're dealing in such a micro economy that if you went and bought 10 of them, eventually, so I'll give you a really, really, really quick example. If you would have bought 10 Bored Apes back in May of last year, you would have spent about $3,000. And if you would hold those 10 Bored Apes and you would own them today, right now, you would be able to sell those and you would get 930 ETH. And at current prices, you would be getting for those same 10 about $2.2 million.
Right now, people are like going, what? Like, that's a little bit like
this
what
is
my
no
reaction
joke.
is. It's just, yeah, it's like
they believed in it. They bought it. They liked it. They held it. It caught popularity. Other people want it. Like Paris Hilton just bought one the other day. She bought one 2 days ago for 110 ETH. ETH's about $2,500, so $230,000.
Mm-hmm.
Well, Paris Hilton wants one. She's got to buy one of the 10,000 that exist. So which one does she buy? She's got to go to OpenSea. She's got to browse the collection. She's got to pick the one she wants and pay whatever price somebody wants to sell it for, because they're 100% all unique.
Right. This is just,
I know this is mind-blowing moments. Like, I get it.
It is.
I understand it.
I'm just trying to wrap my head around, myself and how businesses can apply this. It's like it's this additional currency that's occurring outside of the fiat currency world. So it's like a new paradigm, and so I like how you use the casino and the chips sort of analogy, although some people might feel that that's the game is rigged or something, or some sort of feeling like that. And I don't want people to think that. It's like, because the blockchain is actually quite, I would say it's like, you can't,
it's fair and transparent.
It's fair and transparent. It doesn't get any better than that, really, when it comes to that. What would be the future applications of this that you see it sort of progressing, where it goes beyond sharing images that have value that people want? What else do you see that you think is the progression of that?
Well, it's not even the image right now. It's the underlying access. That the image is just a representation of that. It's just your ticket.
Mm-hmm.
It's what you get in the community. It's what you get your access to. So we built. Have you seen the Tony Robbins virtual events where he's got all the screens behind him?
I'm a Tony Robbins partner. I literally was just there a couple weeks ago.
Have you been to any of his virtual events?
Yeah, I was just at the hybrid one, where I was actually in studio with him, all the plat partners, and then the virtual business mastery we did just a week ago.
So you probably got to meet Blue Melnick.
Yeah, in fact, I'm going to take his course.
Yep. Okay, so we just built an integration into Blue software that runs all Tony's events.
Oh my goodness, no way. Interesting.
So I'll tell you what we did. So now, and I have it fully built, it's fully functional. We ran an event 2 weeks ago. If you own a giraffe, you get access to the event in Obvio. And now I can't make Tony give access, but what I can tell you is, if Tony wants to drop an NFT and give access to his event, he has to use my software, because I have an exclusive with Blue.
Yeah, you've mastered the systems of these things.
Web 2.5. Centralizing, like normies, you and I, we want to go to Zoom and go to an event. Mm-hmm. And it needs to be easy. So we just build it easy. It's just easy. We gated Clubhouse stages. If you have a giraffe, when you raise your hand in a Clubhouse stage, you get to come up on stage.
Yeah, like so to me, like that's one of the things that you've baffled me on is, and I remember your funnels from going, like you mastered how to get people to migrate from Clubhouse to your list. And I'm like, and I was just like, how did he start figuring all this stuff out so fast? Like, where does all the systems come from? Like, is that something that comes natural to you, or do you have a group of people you work with? Like, because you have like mastered this piece.
Well, I was so I have a developer background.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
So I started my way back background is I had controlling access to 2 really key domain names. One of them was eaby.com, so the misspell of eBay. Mm-hmm. And the other one was the misspell of Hotmail, HOTMIAL.com. So I wrote an ethical scraping software. What I did is every person who was emailing Hotmail people, which was the most popular email service in the world, I wrote the software that would take the emails, that would find the misspell, correct it, forward the proper emails to all the proper people, scrape all the emails, and categorize them based on the content that was in existence. So I built the software. I took an ad agent. We were spammers back before the Canned Spam Act. People paid us to send emails.
Okay.
You know, you
I
used
thought
to
you were
pay
just doing
people.
a nice service going, oh, you got it wrong. Here you go.
Oh, no. I did that because I didn't want them to know I was in the middle.
Oh, I see. Yeah.
Because if you get the bounce back, what do? Oh, man, I messed up the email. I got to go fix it. Let me go update my address book. If you keep messing up, well, you know, this was like 2001. This is when it was really popular to hit the forward button and send it to everyone. And if you didn't, then your mom died and your sister was getting cancer and all that stuff.
This is before everybody really understood. Yeah.
They didn't understand I was in the middle scraping all the data.
Right. Amazing.
But we sent the first video through email in the United States. So we did, our clients were like AT&T, Christina Aguilera, Carrot Top, doing email video drops.
Yeah.
So I was really big into that stuff. So I did tech. So now I have a co-founder that I met on Clubhouse that builds all the stuff that I come up with. So I come up with an idea. I come up with an insight. Like we've integrated Gary Coin into HubSpot. So if you go read a blog, I can send you free Gary Coin. Our blog gets thousands of visitors a day. We have one of the most popular blogs on the internet.
So if I have so that's one of the ways that someone could understand this is going, if you want content to be consumed, and you can actually reward people. So you can invite them, delight them with the content, and reward them for doing something. And that's how it's reciprocated, instead of it just being, this is where creators are, because what we've been doing for years is creating, hoping it comes back, and playing the numbers game and recognizing that those numbers will come back at some point. This is a way to actually create a direct relationship with content. Is that the right way to look at this?
Yeah, reward them with the in-game token and give them a path to accelerate their access to higher levels if they choose.
Mm-hmm.
Reward them with an in-game token for free. Go read my blog, go come to my Clubhouse room, go do my desired action, and I'll give you some free in-game tokens, some free Gary Coin. But if you save enough, right, you could sell it. I know that. I respect that. But if you save it, you're going to get these cool perks, rewards, and benefits. Or if you want to shortcut the path, just go buy the 200 more coin and you've got the direct access.
Right.
And everybody wants to shortcut the path. And if you've got a credit card, you can go do that.
So NFT so if I look at NFT and Creator Coin, they kind of both function the same way when it comes to reciprocating. Am I correct in seeing that? They function differently, but in terms of how it's applied, is it fair to say that it's kind of the same?
It's kind of the same, but they're both tokens. Mm-hmm. So Creator Coin is a fungible token. Every one Gary is equal to every one Gary. If you sent me 51 Gary and I sent you back 51 Gary, we would send different Gary, and that's okay.
Right.
Every one giraffe is truly unique.
Yeah. So that is the difference. Like so you don't have a unique Gary coins, but in terms of using it for business, they function the same way. It's just two different ways you can go about it.
Yeah, the utility map, you can map the utility back to that quantity of tokens or that individual token or anything like that. 100% correct.
So basically, an NFT could be like the drafts are basically like a driver's license unique to you that allows you to give you registered access to whatever you are opening up for that NFT.
100% correct.
That makes so much more sense now. You really help clarify that. That's like, I hope everybody that's listening there's people going, oh my goodness, now I'm getting this. Now, so we've talked about Creator Coins. What we haven't talked about is your book. That was actually originally what we came to talk about. Can you share with us a little bit of what someone's going to get from that book? Because I think this is my perception, is that a lot of people, when I was in Clubhouse, it was popular. Everyone's talking about it, but the buzz has kind of died down. Are you still hot on Clubhouse? And talk about the book, the state of the nation of Clubhouse, and then I want to do some future talk about what else is going on.
Yeah. So first off, I didn't write a book about Clubhouse. The title of the book is The Clubhouse Creator, but it's not a Clubhouse book.
Okay, good distinction.
So it's about building an audience, deepening relationships with that audience, and accelerating your success in the creator economy, aka making money. So the principles we implemented on Clubhouse. Mm-hmm. I've been implementing those principles in masterminds my whole life.
And it's just galvanized on Clubhouse in a way that you could really piece it all together. And I can see it in real time. I see this. That's really interesting.
Yep. So that's all it is. So when you grab the book, it's a real easy read, or listen if you listen on Audible. It's called The Clubhouse Creator. You can go into Barnes & Noble and grab a copy. But like when you read it, it's like, okay, this is Clubhouse, but I see now it's like, oh, this is how I build a relationship. This is how I edify someone. This is how I listen. Like, this is how I really listen to someone. This is how I tell better stories, right? This is how I show up for people and support people. This is how I build a relationship with people. This is how I collaborate with people. This is how I build an audience, deepen a relationship, or better yet, allow my audience to build a relationship with me. Because right now, like you and I are talking, you're recording this for your podcast. I'm simulcast streaming this in my Discord server. We have right now 22 people listening to us live. They didn't know it was happening. I just hit a button. They all in Giraffe. They're just listening. So what it is it's that, right? It's how do you deepen the relationship with those people? So whether you're launching NFTs, you're launching courses, you're selling a membership, we all want the same thing. We need a quantity of people, right? Top of funnel. We need to deepen the relationship, right? Move them through the funnel. And the faster we can do that, the more money we're going to make. Accelerate our success in the creator economy. So that's what I talk about in the book. We go through some fundamentals of Clubhouse, but yeah, go for it.
Okay, so it's been floating around, this creator economy. Describe to you or to the audience, what is the creator economy in your own words?
I think in our future, we're going to decentralize ourselves as a human. And we're all going to have our own little coins, our own little tokens, our own little economies, and we're going to move that energy around each other. So what the creator economy is, to me, is your ability to create income from whatever you choose to create in the world. Now, for someone, that could be on OnlyFans, right? There's a lot of money made there. That's the creator economy. For someone, it could be a podcast that they're monetizing. That's the creator economy. For someone, it could be their Discord server. For someone else, it could be t-shirts or NFTs or whatever it is. See, I don't judge how people make money. I don't really care. To me, I don't see any difference in paying someone to mow the grass, or paying someone to design a piece of art, or paying someone to give you a little piece of advice that you needed. I paid Kevin Nations $60,000 and I learned one thing from him, and it was so impactful in my life. And it's, I deserve excellence. Suzanne Evans, the biggest lesson I learned from her, all my money I attribute to this one lesson is, Gary, everybody wants a package. You've got to create a package. So when we grow, we realize we're learning from just that one little piece. So that's what it is to me.
Now, a lot of people are creating today, and they'll say, well, I am a creator in a creator economy, but is there a distinction about really what the creator economy is? Is it on my, like, 'cause right now I'm creating a podcast, but I'm not monetizing it. I'm doing this for free. I mean, 90% of the stuff that I do, I just give it away.
And that's your choice.
That's my choice. And I could gate it, but to me, I'm like, it's about impact. That what I like about what you're sharing with me is you can have both.
Yeah, it's like, okay, let's imagine, right? You're recording this. Do you have anyone on your side watching this live or listening to this live?
No.
Okay, so you could if you wanted to. Mm-hmm. Let's say you wanted to have an NFT and you were going to name it after your podcast. And you were going to sell that NFT for $100, and you were going to produce 1,000 of those. If you had 100 people or 1,000 people buy those, right? Then they're all sold. They're all done. There's no more left. And all you get out of that NFT, you could have two utilities. Utility number one could be you get to listen to the podcast live. See, I'm using my Rodecaster right now. I'm literally streaming this in a Discord server on a stage. I just hit a button. I didn't tell anybody this was happening. So you could do that. You get to listen to it live, and you get to ask you questions, me. Like if I was going to do this, you'd say you could ask me questions, because after I'm done with my guests, then a day or two later or 3 or 4 days later, I'll do a little Q&A, not with my guests. If they want to come, maybe. I'll invite them, but I'll do it and I'll just tell you my key takeaways and what my lessons were, what I learned from talking to Gary. And if you did that and you sold 1,000 of those, it might take you a while to sell 1,000 of those, but you would make $100,000, 100 times 1,000. And then if you charged people 10% every time somebody sold one to someone else, you'd make $10. Or if they sold it for $500, you'd make $50. Or if they sold it for $1,000, you'd make $100. That's all you'd have to do.
When you say all you have to do, now I'm going, but then how do I do it? That's the piece where I'm going, where do you begin?
It's so like you can get a smart contract programmer to, it's one piece of art. Write this one down. It's called Metaverse HQ. Metaverse HQ. I want you to look them up on OpenSea. I'll text it to you as well if you want. Mm-hmm. It looks like a poker chip with their logo on it, and it's animated, right? It just spins. They have 1,500 of these. 1,500. I'm going to look it up just while we're here. So, because I was in Metaverse HQ, it's one of the things I learned a lot from. Now, the cheapest token you can buy from them, the cheapest one right now, if somebody wanted to buy one, is $9,655. And all you get is access to a Discord server. That's it. You don't get anything more than that. Now, that Discord server is a great community. You're going to learn a lot when you're in there. You get a lot of perks, rewards, and benefits. Now, this particular token has exchanged hands since it was originally minted, and it's done 3.2K ETH in volume. So 3,200 ETH times about 2,500 for ETH. I'll just use a round number. That's $8 million in volume, secondary. And if you were making 10% of that, that would be $800,000 that you would make. Now, you may say, well, yeah, Gary, that's good. But, how much is that really? Like, is that really possible? And it is. Like, it is in a really big way. It's possible beyond belief. I'll just read you a couple of their transactions. It's in the last few minutes. This was 14 minutes ago, $9,558. 18 minutes ago, $9,413. 2 hours ago, $6,751. 2 hours ago, $9,074. 5 hours ago, $8,953. And could you imagine if you were making 10% each time?
Jeez.
And all you were doing was still providing access to the community. Mm-hmm. You said, I have 1,500 seats available. That's what Metaverse HQ did. It's only a 2-year membership. So it's not a lifetime. They just do in a 2-year membership. And they said, if you collect 5 of these tokens and you hold 5 at the end of the 2 years, then we'll give you a lifetime access.
Oh, so that's the hold strategy.
Yep. And if you only own one and you sell it, you lose your access to the community. It's all gone. Mm-hmm. You don't have it anymore. You don't have Metaverse HQ anymore. So people would have wanted to buy 2 in order to get the profits. It's pretty expensive now. It's $10,000. So you're going to come in and buy 1, and then all of a sudden it's going to be 15 or 20 grand. It just works. And every time, would you want to go and work your ass off and charge people monthly recurrings and all this stuff? Or would you want someone in your community to say, it's time for me to leave Metaverse HQ. It's time. I'm ready to part my ways. And they go sell the token and you make $900 on the way out the door. Thank you.
That's like everybody wins, right?
Nope.
It's like you're bringing value. They're getting value. When they got no value, they left with even more value. What they learned, what they got, and what they bought into it. As opposed to I spent the money, and I choose to call it investment when you buy. I've invested with Tony Robbins. Like I'm in a multi-year partner. That's a big investment, and but I've got my money back because I learned so much. This is totally different. If they had like a plat token,
imagine if you would have done a plat token. Like how many people were in plat roughly?
There's total lifetime 2,000 current active right now. I think it's like between 350 and 400. I think was the number I saw.
So what if he had 300 tokens, and that was it?
Oh yeah.
Could you imagine? Or the 500 tokens? Could you imagine how much money those would be going for?
Oh, I know.
Somebody would come in that has more money than you and I know what to do with. Mm-hmm. And they would just piss it away because they knew that they could buy it, hold it, use it, and sell it, and somebody else would be ready to piss away the money too. And it's not pissing it away. You're getting to use it. It's just a lot of money.
Yeah.
Because then it's super
for him,
exclusivity.
If someone ties it up, then he's not having impact in the way that he wants.
Well,
so you get to create rules that can hold a certain amount of coins, right?
He would have way more impact, actually.
Oh, really?
Are you there's no brand. Are you familiar with the Bored Ape Yacht Club?
Sorry,
have you heard of them? The Bored Ape Yacht Club.
No.
So it's an NFT project that launched in May of 2021. Okay, so not quite a year yet, right? This is January of 2022. I'll tell you their revenue, and you tell me about impact. They have 10,000 tokens, okay? Only 10,000, right? Okay. No more than 10,000. Here's their revenue. In April, they did $10,957. In May, they did $17.4 million. In June, they did $44 million. In July, they did $40 million. In August, they did $297 million. In September, they did $129 million. In October, they did $95 million. In November, they did $199 million. In December, they did $154 million. And so far this month, they've done $206 million.
That's revenue.
And they make 5% of that.
Right.
They've done $1.18 billion since April of 2021.
And what do they do as a business?
They give you a picture of a monkey.
This brings me back to the beginning where I was like, what?
I'm dead serious. And I say this in the most...
So it's like I'm going... Like, we were going down a good path. You had me. I'm like hooked. I'm leaning in. I'm like, okay, if I do this coin, I'm adding value. I'm helping educate people. And then you went back to... And if you just
access to the club.
The club.
It's access to the club. What does your Amex Black card get you that your Platinum card doesn't?
Well, I don't know. I don't have one.
Right, but the Amex Black card.
You can pretty much do anything. You can buy a plane if you wanted to, I think.
Yep. And when you walk into a restaurant and you show them your Black card, they almost always have a table waiting for you. You're treated different because you have a Black card. Mm-hmm. Perception.
Interesting.
So what do you get when you have a
perception in the market? Is that what it is?
It's the digital flex.
Okay, so now will people use the NFTs now as part of their personal brand? Here's the coins I heard. So tell me about that. Where's the connection between this and personal brand and holding coins?
So not coins, but NFTs.
Or NFTs.
So Snoop Dogg. Snoop Dogg. If you go look up Snoop Dogg, his picture on Twitter is an NFT. Mm-hmm. Eminem's picture on Twitter is an NFT. That is their persona online. They represent themselves as that NFT. That's their brand. Timbaland, I'll play you this for just a second. It's fun. I own the rights to this, so don't get nervous. Do you know Timbaland, the producer?
Yeah, I've heard of him. Yeah.
Okay, you probably don't know him. I bought his first track
personally, but
so I bought his first track that he launched in his new production company, and this is what that track sounds like. I bought that. I own it. I own the rights to it. I can play it in my podcast. I can play it anywhere I want. And now it's mine. That's an NFT as well. And now I have access to a private community with Timbaland. Mm-hmm. I get access to him. He goes in and answers Q&A questions. We get access to his Twitch streams. He's listening to, I don't make music, but if I did, he's listening to our beats. And he's looking to put our beats, the people who own these tokens, our beats in his new songs.
So, okay, so you buy the song.
Yep.
Could you go play it to the public?
Oh, yeah, it's mine. I own it.
Okay, well, what if someone else just grabs it, copies it, and plays it? What happens then?
They don't own it. I own one. There's 3,000 or 3,500 licenses to it, and I own one of the licenses.
Right. So they would be illegally playing it. You guys could. So that's a way for a creator in audio could be licensing their music.
Yep. So let's do the math on this. He did these for 0.25 ETH. He sold 3,500 off them times 0.25 ETH. That's 875 ETH. ETH is about $2,500 right now. That's $2.1 million on a single track that Timbaland dropped. Selling directly to consumers. And all it took was getting 3,500 people that believed in it enough to pay $625.
So if you're someone that really creates source content or insights or new things, you have this is a game changer.
And that project, secondary, has traded 170 ETH. So that's secondary, meaning original people bought it, new people now sold it. I bought it, I sold it to you. So 170 ETH times 2,500 bucks is 425,000. They're a 10% project, I believe. So they've made an additional $42,000 in secondary sales just in people trading the track. Because if I decided I didn't want it anymore, I would choose to sell it. I would sell it to you. If you're like, man, that's the coolest track in the world, I want that on my podcast, you'd want to go buy one. So there's a secondary market, and it's all traded on the blockchain, and it's easy. We're just moving ETH.
What if it goes on iTunes or something? Like, what happens?
I don't have the rights to put it on iTunes. I don't have the rights to use it commercially. I can use it in my commercial things, not like to distribute it. I don't have distribution rights.
So if I'm the artist and I wanted to get distribution rights, and let's talk about that. Like, so I understand you've given licenses to a group.
Yep.
Now how does that dilute? Does it dilute your license if he goes, hey, I'm going to now put this on iTunes?
Nope. It would actually increase my license, because now imagine if you would have ownership of one of the songs.
But if you have ownership, only you can play it. You can't sell it.
I can play it. I can play it on my podcast. I can play it on my TV show. I can play it all the places that you can't play normal music. Could you play a Drake song or a Snoop Dogg song on your podcast?
Nope.
So now imagine if this song became as popular as the hottest Snoop Dogg song. I own it. I have the rights to it. I can play it anywhere I want.
Oh, my light bulbs are going right now. Okay, you're hitting the marks here.
And that's how like the Bored Ape Yacht Club has done so much money, because their 10,000 apes have become so popular, just like the hottest new song or the hottest whatever. It's become so popular that everyone wants one. So the cheapest one for sale is over $200,000 right now. It doesn't mean that, I couldn't, if I owned one, I could sell one for way cheaper if I wanted, but there's a buyer, right? There's in price resistancy. There's a buyer at this point. So the price keeps going up when buyers keep scooping. Price goes down when the buyers slow down. There's enough buyers coming in to buy Bored Apes right now that the price keeps going up.
I'm up to my ears with Stoke.
Yep.
But then it goes. Then when it's listening, hope we got a little bit. Hope you don't mind me running over a little bit here, because I'm like right in the zone. So
no, you're fine.
It's good. Brian Solis booked for another day. So how? Like, if someone's going to go and I don't have the resource, I don't have is that something you provide to go, hey, you know what? Scott wants to create this universe, this creator universe. Is there a place to go or do we got to piece it together in different areas, or how does that look? Because to me right now, it's like, I'm like, wow, where do I begin? I mean, I already know where to begin. I'm talking to you, but if the everyday person
fragmented today. Yeah, it's fragmented today. We're building the system that anybody will be able to rinse and repeat soon.
Okay.
So no one's done what I've done.
Nobody at all, dude. This is why I'm like 100%. So how can I be in your data group?
I'm doing it. Well, what you do by getting 250 Gary coin.
Yeah, well, I'll be doing that right away.
And like you do it and you grab Giraffe. So like we're taking our technology that runs our Discord, like it's insane. Mm-hmm. We shout out automatically when people buy coin. We upgrade your roles in Discord. We do everything. So if you want our technology, for example, we do that for people who have 25 Giraffe. So people who believe in our concept enough, help us mint out, help us get these Giraffe out into the world. They go buy 25 Giraffe right now. They get access to partner and use our tech and stuff like that. And we'll help them as we go through that. So 25 Giraffe moves you into kind of a right to partner status with the tower and where we're headed. Right now, those are really affordable. That'd be like 1.25 ETH. Eventually, 25 Giraffe will hopefully be a lot more money once all 10,000 of them
outside of going into your bubble.
Yep.
What does somebody do? It's just
they have to figure it out on their own.
Figure it all out. Yeah. So it's
there's no. I haven't written a book there yet. Right. Like there's no.
Yeah. It's like when the .com was starting and people are like, I don't know how to do personalization, but we'll figure it out. Like we built our own email program to do emails. This is before people think that's weird. They're like, what you did? Like we actually built our own email platform.
Yeah.
We had to and so then we commercialized it. We got clients to pay for it. Like,
yep.
So this is where we're in with this. We're at that stage here with this area. Wow, this is so interesting. Yeah. I'm sure people here are losing their minds. So let's talk about like some, like, I'm a lady who's making recipes. You can NFT recipes. You can NFT, like I have Guru Singh. Me and him are working on a project, which I'd love to talk to you about, where he's world-renowned yogi who does kind of like yogi, and he does mantras and music and stuff. He could NFT this stuff.
If you have an audience, you can create an NFT to sell to that audience.
He has a huge audience. I have
That's just, you just have to have an audience, right? You just have to have an audience of people who have a relationship. Now, you have to take people on a journey with you, right? Before they can buy, they have to have the currency that they have to buy with.
Mm-hmm.
So if you're going to sell an NFT with ETH, then you got to get people to get ETH. It's just a journey. It's a path.
Yeah.
Not everybody. Some people are going to say, "Oh, NFTs are funny business. That's scams. That's this. That's that." You know, people have their own opinions. So now you need a bigger audience, so you can build a smaller subset of an audience.
Well, if you think of, if like I just did an interview with Jeffrey Moore, right? Crossing the Chasm. So we're not even we're in the early sliver of the early adopters.
Oh yeah.
If you think of onboarding people doing ETH, just even getting crypto, they're in the early majority still. They're not even in the late majority, or in the like, we haven't even crossed that little chasm. So that means if you really get in now, you really can make a real play here. I mean, this is really interesting.
Well, think about it. Like you jump into your NFT project, you decide to launch one, whatever, ever have any quantity. You jump into the draft tower, and you're taking a bet. Like, I'm betting on you, you're betting on me. And eventually more people are just going to want to get in, because it's just the nature of the beast. And then you make money on the way out. Like it works for me every single day. It works for everything. If you have an audience, and your audience is going to keep growing. Now, if you have an audience and you're stagnant and flat, it's probably not going to be great. You need momentum. You need energy moving. You need to keep your eyes going forward. You need to get people every single day. Like, you're going to get, I was just on Brian Fanzo's podcast last Thursday, and he told me that I was his number 2 most downloaded episode off of his podcast. Now he's top one.
His podcast is blowing up.
It's blowing up, but I'm the number 2 most downloaded episode.
Yeah, he's like I think he was like the top NFT or top NFT discussed one. I don't know. I keep seeing his stats, and I'm like, oh, Brian, you're just crushing.
And it's because the way I move energy. I move energy different. I move energy different with a small audience. Mm-hmm. I know I don't have a big audience, so I have to move small audience energy, but I'm scaling small audience energy really, really big.
So that is something that I think people that really, I'm going to just lean into a little bit, is you don't need a big audience. It used to have these, like, we need to have 10,000 followers. You don't need a big audience to do this.
You never needed it. Nobody knew that, though.
Yeah.
See, what you thought you needed was, you thought you needed this number because you were only going to get 2% of your people that will pay you, or 1% or whatever.
Yeah, 0.5.
Well, I have all my people to pay me.
Right.
All my people that are in the giraffe tower, I have 3,150 or so giraffe out in the world. All of those people paid to get a giraffe. And if they didn't pay me, they paid the gas to the networks to get a giraffe. We did free mints for 48 hours, and we had over $100,000 move through in that 48 hours of people minting giraffe for free, because they had to pay gas fees, right, to mint the NFT. I didn't get it. It went to the miners and the network. But that's energy. So everybody paid to be there. Everybody that's around me pays to get around me. Everybody.
See, I like how you're describing. You're really about moving energy. It's not like you're like, I know that some people are going, what? But that is, in essence, what, if you think of money, it's been described as really a unit of energy. Yep. It represents amount of energy, say, a human has to do to earn, to create. So it's really just a transfer of energy. It's the same thing, but this is a little more fluid, fair, and transparent.
Yep. And I get to have fun, because I'm a creator.
Having fun.
I'm having so much fun. Like, this is it's the most professionally rewarding I've ever had in my life. Like, it's fun to help Jason Katzenbach do a $10 million launch. It's fun to help Jeff Walker do his $1 million launches, but it's real fun when you grow something on your own and you do it for you. It just hits different.
Well, and you're helping a lot of people. Like you're, I'm looking in Discord, like you're the impact that you're having and really helping people through navigating Clubhouse, now the creator economy, and all the things that you do. I think that is where the real value is. That's the fulfillment, right? I mean, I mean, even me, like just you being this podcast, I feel like this was worth so much money in an hour. You were able to really break down all. I've been following NFTs, and I'm still kind of like, I don't quite get it, but I actually think can't say I can sink my full teeth in it, but I got a bite. I think I'm like, now I'm like hungry to talk to you more about this. So
it just works. Like
Yeah.
it just works. And as you, like you get ingrained in our community and you get into, kind of seeing more of what we're doing, and you see the way we unlock the doors. And then like, if you got to 250 Gary coin and you decided one day you wanted to sell 20 of them, you would lose your access automatically.
How does it know that? Is it just the system?
I wrote all the software.
Of course you did. Yeah.
Not me personally, my co-founder did. So we're a tech studio. We're a creative studio.
So if I have that, how do I license that so I can do the same thing?
25 Giraffe in your wallet. You get access to our software because you get to partner with our tech.
All right. Well, now
so we're going to eventually release that to the world, but we're in an MVP stage. I'm still building what it does. I'm still functioning. So the way we get access to that is I want some other projects to be able to come in and use our tech and build on it. So if you have 25 Giraffe in your wallet, you help me accomplish my goals. So I'll help you go accomplish your goals. And then we'll tell the story together, because like you mentioned, Brian Fanzo, for example, his first NFT was a gift from me. Ever. The first one he ever owned in his whole life. So we'll tell a story together, how you got into Gary Club and you got into the Giraffe and you learned about NFTs and you went and launched your own project and all this stuff. Well, you become the next success story coming out of Gary Club.
Mm-hmm. Interesting. Yeah, another light bulb just went on. It's like, so the Giraffe coin is really going, oh, this is my membership to guiding me through the journey of becoming a creator and monetizing it. Another coin, like for example, for me, I'm all about sustainable growth marketing. I'm helping people, what I call business, transforming business as usual into business is beautiful. Like kind of like really creating a heart-centric business. And so all the training, my book and stuff like Groundswell, this would be their ticket to going, hey, I'm going to follow, I'm going to get tools, technique, access, people, content. And that if I buy into this philosophy of I one day want to be sustainable and create solidarity for myself, for sovereignty, that's a coin. And one of the other things is Gary, and then maybe I'll go with Brian. Like, so you might have a couple pieces to grow your business, and those are communities to help you build your business. Did I just figure that out?
You 100% nailed it.
Okay. I hope everyone's listening followed along that, because for me, this is really exciting, and I'm so happy that you're on the show. And if people want to follow you, where would you want to send them off to now?
Gary.club. There
it is.
It's so easy. It's so simple. It's Gary.club. You're going to put your email address in. You're going to see all the relevant links on the second page there. It's going to give you access to Discord, so you can come in and join our community for free. I'm pretty active on Twitter. I dabble a little bit on Instagram, not much. If you want access to me, just go to Gary.club and get into Discord. Like, that's the best place. I'm in there all the time. We run it like a business, though.
Right.
Like, we have 24/7 concierge in Discord that I pay full-time staff. So there's always somebody there to hold your hand. There's always somebody there to help you. If you get lonely, there's somebody there that's going to help you there with that too. So we're just always there. It's a place for creators to always feel at home.
Love it. Thank you so much for being on the show. This was invaluable. And I'm going to get you to hang on, because I'm going to make sure that the recording goes through. And for everyone that's listening, thank you so much, everyone, for listening. If you have any comments that you want to share with me, just go to groundswell.fm, drop on the mic there, leave me a voicemail. I love it when you guys tell me a little bit about what you like to hear, what you like, when you don't like. And until next time, mahalo.